So Slim, thank you for joining us. This is Mr. PR, Mr. MBA. Guy, I want to hear your story because, I mean, we're from the same, okay, you're from Kliptown. I'm originally from this community, but the guy's story, how you got into the MBA, I'm looking forward, I can sit right there and listen to how this guy from our community gets into the National Basketball Association of America, how they fly him there. I love to see your work and what you're doing for our community. You have your own organization, so very proud of you and honored to be in your presence and for you to come share your story. And I think it's time that we also document and show you share our stories, and I'm happy that we can give you the platform where we can have you document your story and you can be up there in the world and people can say, who's Slim? And then we can help just be that guys who provided you a stage to share your story. Guys, can you just help me welcome Jerome SLIM du Plooy. Slim.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Oh. Yeah, okay. Good morning, guys. Are you guys okay? We're gonna have fun. I'm gonna speak from the heart. Daryl has been fighting with me to get me out here, and the schedules have just clashed, and there hasn't been time because when he wants me, I'm not available, and then it's just a bit of a mix-up. But it's good to be here today. I like reaction. I like people. But today we're gonna share my story a little bit. I always say, I don't care if there's 10 people listening to me, if there's 100, if there's 8,000, if there's 800,000, I don't care. As long as I'm going to touch a life, and that's what we're going to do. So my name is Jerome SLIM du Plooy Parker. I am an actor. Generations, The Legacy, Rhythm City, Ufelani. Recently, I did not kill the girl, I just acted the part. Van baie mense kyk met dan dink hulle slim het jy regtig hy mens doodgemaak en like no, it's just acting, it's what I do. MC as well, I did the NBA. It was a blessing doing the NBA. So you gave me 4 points. So the whole time I was telling my guys, I'm excited, I want to do this. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Must I write it down? Because then yesterday they scooped me up. I played in a game. I was like, guys, I can't be late for this thing. And Daryl now puts me at 10. So I was like, no, I need to be here today because this is my community. This is what I love. And this is what I do. And when I'm going to give you a message, take my message, my story, and everywhere. But just listen to what I have to say, and then you're going to be fine. Okay, it's a beautiful, but it's a hard story as well. It's a crazy story. So you wanted the NBA, right, Daryl? Yes, you want the NBA. So in Kliptown, 2004. So there was a period in my life where from 2001 till 2003, my mother battled with me to go to Soweto Kliptown Youth, which is where we're from. Lily's here from Kliptown as well. And the Dungas guys, I represent Eldos, please, but it's tough because I grew up Eldos as a kid, but then I moved to Kliptown. So Kliptown fights, no, Slim is us. Then Eldos like, no, Slim is us. And then now Klipspray, because I schooled in Klipspray like, no, Slim is. I'm like, guys, it's okay. I'm from everywhere. It's Eldos, Kliptown is the same thing. So that's what it is. So my mother was fighting because we grew up as naughty kids. I had to succumb to gang life at a young age. So I had this crew, beautiful kids, right? But what we did was everybody loved each other, but it was a gang thing. Even though we did not fight, even though we did not do things, it was gang life. And growing up from that, my mother got scared and she fought with me and she says, you're going to Sky. So in 2004, I went to Sky and my mother was happy and I was hurt because I heard the NBA comes to Kliptown. And I was like, yo, Mara, the NBA, like guys in Kliptown, do y'all understand what the NBA, like Jordan, those guys, they're like, yeah, Slim. So I told Bob, and Bob was like, no, I'm going to let you meet these people if you keep working hard at school. So I did my thing, and I worked, and I pushed, and that year I was adopted by some of these people in the NBA that loved me. I was a very talkative kid. I still talk, but I'm very shy now. So when I'm in public, when I'm on the mic, I love the mic, and that's how we do, you know. So what's up, JSTAR? So they took me up, and my mother couldn't afford school fees for me. I wanted to study further. Mama might nie geld gehad nie because I grew up in poverty. We'll come back to that part. And I told the NBA, like, hey, I want to go to school. They're like, you want to go to school? I'm like, yes, I would have put you through school. Went through school, and there was NBA players that paid for my funds behind the things that I didn't even know, that loved me as a kid. I studied, and I couldn't disappoint because I always, and what I tell kids from Eldos, wherever, the kids from the ghetto, wherever, I wanted to compete with kids in private schools. I wanted to compete with kids that are better than me, that have better lives. I didn't have much, but I wanted to compete. So now you have a stipend, you have a thing, and you compete. And did my thing for the NBA, graduated as the top radio student at Boston Media House, and they saw me, and that's how I got into emceeing. So I joined Eldos FM because I saw a post at school. They're like, we need radio presenters. I'm like, oh, Radio Eldos. Like, wow, what is this? Let me go. Like, let me get ahead. And little did I know that that's going to be my stepping stone into success. So I started at Eldos FM and became a ghetto superstar, and people loved Elliot, me, Ron Gevat, and did things. And I was really happy. And I started earning 500 Rand at Eldos FM, right? When they got the license, which was 2011 or so. And every 2 months, to me, it was heaven. Like, and I went through it. And then I emceed the NBA event that they had here. I said, I can MC this thing. I know I'm great, I'm phenomenal, I can do it. Give me the mic. They're like, Slim, are you sure? I'm like, yes, I'm sure. Took the mic, did my thing. They're like, Slim, you coming to All-Star Weekend. So then through God's grace, I did Orlando, Houston, New Orleans, New York, and Toronto. And then it came so full circle that I was a kid that was ambitious because I didn't have much. I come from nothing. Like poverty is my thing. I know poverty. So now we get into this. So you're happy with that story. So we're gonna come back now to the major things, to the testimonies when we come back there. All right. So my next thing I wanted to talk is, you can't tell me. You can't tell me. Don't put your things on me. If you don't like me, you don't like me. There's people that's going to love me, there's people that's going to, but if you don't like me. We were coming in the taxi today, and the thing I always tease people about is, people are like, yeah, but Slim, you always so skinny. I'm like, yeah, I'm skinny. I'm Slim. That's my name, Zenaida, sexy, lovable, intelligent male. That is Slim. That's why I define myself as. I'm there, I'm skinny, like honest, like a smart, but I love it. And then that's the thing that now forces the community to go into things now. That's what ons opmors, because ons luister wat sê mense. There's too much outside noise, and that's why we have the highest cyberbullying in South Africa, which is disgusting. It's disappointing, because if you want to do something, mense can say you can't do it. I come from situations where when I stand up, people are like, Slim, where you from? Like Eldos, Kliptown. They're like, oh, the baby makers, oh, the carjackers, oh, the unemployed, oh, this, oh, that. And what does people do? We stay in that thing. We stay in that mindset. So when we have 80% of people in that, the 20% that becomes successful doesn't want to be part of Eldos, doesn't want to be part of Eldos, doesn't even want to look at Eldos. They turn their backs on Eldos because they think, hey, we have made it because we are labeled as that. And that's why we have people, which hurts me, Daryl, that complains about the government. To hell with the government. To hell, you need to start becoming your solution. I love solutions. Solution is a beautiful thing. See, when you solve things, it becomes better for you. When you stop sitting and be like, yo, here's the nail, hey, money government, hey, unemployment, oh, Lord. Die kinders and Eldos. Oh. And that's why we have so many, even men's getting into the society now, where we make tea for each other and we sit the whole day, skinnerbek, is lekker, ons gaan aan, jy gooi die suiker in, gooi nog. And that's what y'all are doing. Whereby you have people such as my girl T, you got Joshua that are trying to be something, build that up. I spoke to Stephen Pinar, who played with my brother Bernard Parker. And he said, the problem is in our community, we can't claim each other. You don't lift up your mensa. You don't put them there. And what I tell people is your time is going to come. If I'm on the stage here today, I want to help welcome you on the stage tomorrow. I'm not here forever. My thing is to come back, make Eldos better, do what I do, invest in it, and we go on. How long we gonna keep setting? You people in Eldos are talented. We all see. Come on, tell this. Come on, man. You dance world stages there. Joshua, I met Joshua in the States. He was buying shoes there. You know, but it's fine. It's my brother, and we always speak about ambition, about life, about giving back. And I'm grateful to see the people that are here today because you make me feel warm. Those who are going to miss, it's okay. They're going to have to watch the videos of us there on the Spaces for Youth platforms. But that's what it is. So I'm done with that. So don't let people ever tell you you're not good enough. You don't count. You don't matter. You are not because you are not this tall or this or no. All right, so we move on. Pain. 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 So, what you guys are going to have to understand in life is, even you, T, even you, Joshua, when you become successful, man, they say to whom much is given, much is tested. All of us love, yeah, I serve the Lord, oh Lord. So when you get the new car, oh Lord. When you get the house, oh Lord. When you have the money, oh Lord, I love you, Lord. The day the retrenchment comes, yeah. You don't even think about God no more. It's not even, you letting this noise come in. So I believe my story is a testimony. It goes deeper. One day we'll share it more. I'll get into it. But that's every time I've become successful, I've lost because I believe. Got that, Sonia? I became successful. The more I became, the more I got tested, the more I lost. And it's going to get rain. Het gaan koud raak. Het moet koud raak, mama. It has, winter has to come. We just like summer and the mangoes and the grapes and you don't want to eat oranges. That's why, I don't know, most of you, oranges comes wintertime because it's vitamin C. It keeps you going. And that's why you need to have God. I'm big on faith. Like, you need to have that thing. So 2016 comes through. Go on, I do things. 12 March. Day before, I was shooting a thing, SABC1. God made it a homecoming. Acted in the street. Next day, my mother died, 2016. Tough. But I fight. I MC gigs for Nike in Cape Town, and then I did the funeral, and they're like, Slim, how do you do this? Hoe is so sterk? And we go on. And last year, so the year before I did the NBA game, but last year's game was way bigger. And I always told God I wanted to MC that event in the stage to show people that South Africa has talent, South Africa can do it. And God brought it home. And I MC'd this thing at home. Instead of me going somewhere in front of the crowd and doing what I love. When it was Wednesday, my dad's 1 year anniversary dead last year after I did the game. So I'm in this hype. I'm success. Ek wil gaan. Ek wil vlieg. No. Ek slim gaan no. Ek slim gaan mense no. Yeah, slim is. And then this thing. And I'm like, God, why? Can't understand it. 2 weeks later, my little brother gets murdered. Oh. Slim is jy gedoor. Wat gaan aan? Wie's jealous? Slim, wat gaan aan? Comes October, my grandmother. So this pain is hurtful. This pain is a misery. But I need to fight because Joshua T, what y'all need to understand, Spaces for Youth, if you fall, a lot of people fall with you. The community falls. A lot of people that looks up to you are falling. So I gotta cry in the thing. And the hurtful thing was, again, we come to choices. My little brother got murdered because my brother was on the Nyaupe life. He had it hard. He had things. And people always ask, Slim, how did you do it? How did you? Who come Jay? And I thank God I was brought up in homes, and that's the saddest. That's why if you're here with your family today, you need to love your family. It's as easy as that. Your family needs to be your number one priority. You need to be there. You need to love them. You need to go on for it no matter what, because it's a hurtful thing. And you see these kids on this nyaupe. You see these kids on this drug life. You see these kids, and it questions sometimes. Because we break down. We do break down. You see this child on Yape, yeah, it's useless, hey, doen die, hey, doen die. And the more negative you put, as I said, I don't want you to put negative. If you're not going to say nothing positive about me, thank you, sharp, move on. You hurt that person. And that kid now loves things that he's into. And they're going to love it. And they become friends with people just like them, because those people love them. They don't see what they're doing is wrong, what they smoking is wrong, what they are doing. They love each other. They have this thing. And it hurt because we exhausted my mother's funds trying to help 7 rehabs. Gave him my house. I mean, I always talk this thing, D. That's why you need to motivate the kids, especially in Eldos, because if you can wake up at 2:30 to go 2:30, lekker tyd slaap, Sonia, you slaap. So did you feel like sleep at 2:30 in the morning? And you wake up for a pee or whatever, but when you go back to sleep, nice. But the light is on it, and they're on it, they're gonna go hustle now. They are doing, so if we change that negative and bring that positive thing, it's gonna happen. The only way you beat hate is with love. That's it. That's how you beat it. And that's why you people also need to understand you have 86,400 minutes, seconds in a day now. So you're gonna get times. That's meant they're gonna upset you. They're gonna steal 400 rand, but you still have 86,000 left. So you can do a lot of things with that 86,000. Don't let people steal your misery. Don't let people do these things. Don't let people get on you and say, no, this, wara, wara. No, that is your problem. You let people get into you too much. Then we feel affiliated and you just want your corner. Come out of your corner. Step up. Stop being less of a person. You are, man. Yeah, you are created in God's image. When I wake up in the morning, I say, yes, sis, Jerome SLIM du Plooy Parker today. Yay! My boys, they saw. Hey, you handsome, man. Hey, God. Yo, my eyes. It's me. Because these days I wake up, I'm like, but I'm... So you ever felt like you get more handsome by the you mature? As you throw your scene, baby, come soon, will be vang. You know, how I dress. And that's your thing. That's how you got to adapt to life now. Every day when you dress up, even if you don't have a job, when you go to the store, look like you are that 1,000, 2,000 rand person. You're gonna go, Joshua? Go. My friend, please give me 1 rand's chappies. Oh, Madam Van Baraf, come in, Muni worry. I was there where I was. Don't worry. And that's why people couldn't even understand. They said, Slim, but you from Kliptown. Why do you look this nice? I'm like, you can't. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. Don't expect me to be from somewhere where I'm going there. And that's where you're going through as human beings. You are going to become successful. Hence, I started my thing. Even when Joshua started the cares thing, I started Slim Cares. I wanted to give back to education. I told my friends when I came here, I gave away a bursary 3 years ago in this library to kids. Up to date, I've given away now 700,000 in education because I'm big on education. And I've done a lot of that stuff in Eldos because I want them to fight and I want them to do things. And I love you guys. I don't know how much I can go there. I don't want to go the whole day. You see, I'm even sweating now. I got 3 more minutes. Okay. No, three is okay. I'm even sweating, man. But, guys, thank you so much for your time. It's a valuable thing. It's an important thing. When I saw T's father side, I appreciate that. Support your kids. T, when you're up in here, support your family. Joshua, this turkey, us. I appreciate that. My squad is here. That's why even yesterday when I took them with me, I believe in giving kids the opportunity. Baie van ons is te sleg. Ons is te Selfish. I grew up in Extension 1. There was this uncle, Nasonia, which I hated. He was family. He planted the whole fruit trees. Come summertime, that peskies ne, you can have a already, then go jump. And you're like, uncle, please, can we just get one or two? Because he's got like a boom, brave everything you could think of fruit. And he says, no, I'm going to eat it. And you know, nah, the hurtful thing, man, when you walk past there after 2 weeks, I pesky said how foul, because I had a friend answered fraud. And you but like, oh, mas, we didn't want to must stay. Ons will must eat, must. We want the fruits of the life. And that's why it's important for you people to please have the fruits of the Spirit. Love yourself. Protect yourself when you go out of the house. Put yourself under the blood. We shall talk some more. I'm really grateful to be here. It's an honor. I love you guys. Love your family. Love God. And always believe that you can make a difference. Yes?
Poo, poo, poo. Fire, Slim. We're not done with you yet. We're not done with you yet. The first time I met Slim, it was an interaction similar to this, but he was kind of like, he was at Eldos FM and he was just inspiring everybody who was in the production room. At that time, he wasn't supposed to be on air. I was supposed to be on air. I walked into the room, he was prophesying something, and he was like, she feels me. And I was like, I don't even know this guy. But I think I do feel him. How did he know I'm feeling him? And I think you've done that again. You've gotten people, feeling that it's actually feeling your passion and feeling something about your passion. What's next? That's my first question. And then we're going to take questions from the floor, but what's next for you?
Ash, this question, what's next, is, I always tell people, God's the pilot, me, I'm the passenger. So I can't say what's next, Z. We can plan, like everybody in here can plan for tomorrow. Once curry mark, but then the weather comes, then you make baked beans. So you're like, but you said you're making curry tomorrow, Z. How's change of plan? So I always say, I trust God's plan. I do have visions which I want to do, but God knows what's next. I'm just enjoying the journey. So even when I do something, I'll always do it. But most of all, I just think it's giving back to our communities, making people better, and just, I think, enjoying life every day, because tomorrow, that's another thing y'all need. Please enjoy life, because tomorrow is not promised. Like, you think we're going to be here, but we don't know. So it's just loving everybody, making an impact, and just trusting God's journey.
There's something, I'm not going to cry. There's something called the fifth dimension. And the fifth dimension is all about love. I think Slim already lives in the fifth dimension. Some of us might be in the third or the fourth dimension. But if there's any questions, I'll bring the mic to you. Anything you want to know? Okay, my other question then is, and I've asked every guest who's come who's involved in the commercial sphere, where there's an exchange for services and there's the issue of charging. How are you, or have you become comfortable with asking for your kind of payment worth? Maybe you can share with people, some of the basics that you need to either know about your skill or your craft to be able to attach a price tag or whatnot, because that's something everyone struggles with, and I think it's important.
Eish, the bag. I forgot to speak about that, Daryl. In the bag, I wanted to speak about it. I watch Eric Thomas, and he inspires me, and I get paid for this, to speak for people who hear me do my thing. Like I charge, as I was like with Daryl, but I was like, you know what? It's my community. I need to give up my time. That's my payment, because a lot of these kids, especially where you invited me from Eldos, Kliptown, see us as the superstars. And we were fighting with Neo and them. I tell him, don't call me a celebrity. I'm not a celebrity. I'm Jerome before I'm Slim. The celebrity just comes with the jobs I do, the acting, but that is not who I am. So humanity. That's why I'm here today, humanity. Because I love the community. That's me paying it back to the community. And the thing that hurt me, which I spoke to Daryl about, was the drug thing. The unemployment, die mense wat huil, wat sê daar is nie. I fought this. I'm fighting the system every day to show people that you can become successful. So I do charge. Yes, I come at a price, but I'm here today because I'm here for Eldos. That the Eldos made me.
Say what's those alcohol brands like Sky Vodka or Ciroc, and I'm like, Slim, you're the ish, Slim, here's 10 grand, and you're like, but it costs 10 grand for a bottle of your alcohol. You know what I mean? How do you get to the point where you're like, actually, no, because you guys are, some champagne brand or whatever, and you sell at such a price, I actually want so much from you. How did you get comfortable with that? And what does that mean as part of the bigger picture when we find ourselves out there in the world?
The first thing always you need to, Joshua and T is gonna relate. We have bills, so you moet betaal. I moved out of the house. My mom had said, "Yeah, you must loop, become a man." And till the day I left, to raak say bang. Just like, oh, my child is out of the house. Like he's not there no more, bro. She's like, oh my God, like what did I do? And which was a thing to go forward by. So when you have the bills, that's why with brands especially, I'm very protective with what kind of brands I deal with, because I've become such an influence amongst the youth, and the youth is what I do, it's what I love. So we came a price. I talked to people. I spoke to you. You were my manager at some. You didn't mention that. She was managing me for like 2 or 3 months. I don't know how long, but she put me in somebody's hands. And you need to know your worth as an individual. You need to know what you bring to the table. And that's why even men say, as you uitgaan for job, money. I'm going to tell your daughter, if they say 3,500, she mustn't be like, oh God, 3,500. What is the... And then the budget for the thing like Zaneta is 10,000. So those people are now pocketing all the money. So get lawyers, get people involved that know the game, get people that know your worth, and just come up with the price that you feel is. I was laughing because I mentored Dimpy Dimpopo, and I always try and help people, Jay, you know. And when you become greedy, it upsets me, because these guys were like, Slim, we want Dimpy. I'm like, I can bring him. And then they were like, Slim, but the price is asking for this. I was like, that's ridiculous. Like, how did you even get there, you know? So always keep your bridges open, know your worth, and do research on how much the job or whatever pays, and then come through and get advice from people in the industry, yeah. You gotta.
Hello, everyone. I have a question for you. You spoke about love when you said your brother was into Nyaupe, the love they had for each other. And then you spoke about hate, the uncle you hated. Being a public figure, how do you juggle the two? How do you handle hate? How do you handle love?
Okay, so in essence, when I said I hated the uncle, I didn't mean he made like that. Like I'm a lover, like, but I didn't like what he did because it's selfish, and selfish brings negativity. And one thing I liked about, I was watching Vince McMahon, the WWE, I get a lot of my inspiration, the MC. He was speaking one day on an interview, and he says if something hurts him, he gets rid of it very quickly. That brings him pain, that brings misery, because if I bring you misery, you're not going to like me. We're going to be uncomfortable if I'm around you. It stings. So love and hate, being hated a lot. It's what it was. Another thing I forgot to mention, Sonia, I spoke better. And then people are like, yo, Joshua, no? And people are like, yes, hey, Josh, who doing you brass them swa? Huh? All right. You know. Yo, but I speak because on the one hand, even when I meet up with people from the state, they're like, Slim, you speak so well. And then when you speak in your community, people are like, yo, you brought my honors like, yo, you can't know. I'm like, say, wie dank jy, wie say. So, hey, bro. And I got upset. I was like, you don't know me. You don't pay my school fees. You don't feed me. How can you come here and talk this gibberish? And that kind of hate was there. It was there. But it faded, and so people saw my character, because if you fall in love with I have a beautiful spirit. So when you get to know it, you will be with it. So the aim is not always to get consumed in the hate. That's how I was speaking even on Twitter, and it's the most cyberbullying. My brother gets a lot of hate for playing for Chiefs for the national, whatever. And there's days I used to go in and I used to fight. I'm like, "Hoe kan jy so praat? How can you say this to Eldos? How do you know this?" And then those people just laugh. They're like, "Ah," and they move on because it's couch potatoes. Hulle doen niks met hulle lewe nie, so they feel they could just jump on T for dancing and she can't. Yeah, that was a swak move. Can you do that move? You can't do that move. So don't come here and play drums like Joshua, but you can't. Or MC like Slim, but you can't. It's fine. So never get consumed in the hate. It's going to be there. People are always going to have what they say because you are doing what they dreamed of doing. And they are such cowards because they can't even attempt to do stuff like that. You were with me. I love you. Yesterday I took you with me to the center. And I even told my friends, I don't care about the big people. Big people, you know everything in this life. And you saw who came to me was the kids. Because the kids, when they see me, it's inspiring. So I love the kids. I love them. Love is a beautiful thing, man. And the more you love, it's going to overcome the hate. So just be quiet. Take it with a pinch of salt. Build stones with the hate. I always say you build a mansion. So die dag, wat allerlei mense gesê het, ja, jy spap, ja, jy werk nie, ja, jy het nie dinge se, you keep that 500. Jy sit weg. So the day they see your house, they're like, "Ow, het jy lotto gewen?" Nee, I worked. I was there. You weren't there. You just helped build me with that negative, yeah? Okay. Oh, no, you.
With regards to the previous question, well, I wanted to ask, because you said that before they give you a prize, you need to know your worth. So what is your net worth?
Yo, Joseph, yo. Now, what's the net worth? Yeah. I think I'm very, very valuable. But, to me, it's like a materialistic thing, man. Like, because if I had to die tomorrow, God forbid, all of that just doesn't matter. I'm valued very high. I'm there. And I always teach people, no matter if somebody's richer or poorer than you, what's it for? You're unestimable worth. I'm unestimable. You can't estimate because I go like this. Even T and Joshua's tomorrow she's gonna dance another gig. Then it's 50. Then it's 100,000. Then it's. So that's why some people are even scared to book after the NBA gigs just because they're like, "Hey, Slim, what's your MC rate?" And I'm like, so you unmeasurable. That's ultimately what I say with the net worth. It's the price. It's like with Josh, because even when we look at our families now, when you look at your family, it's priced with my brother. Like there's so much that comes on you, and you become just so much more valuable. So yeah, there's no. I think my net worth is my name. So yeah.
I'm going to put a figure to Slim's net worth, since I used to manage him for like 2 seconds. I would place it round about now at about, what's the date today? Around about 8 million. 8 million, and then maybe, it like increases every 3 months. About 8 million. There was 2 more hands here.
Slim, thank you. That was a really great, presentation. So I'm glad you mentioned the stereotypes that comes with being colored and what, that stigma that follows us. And it's just coincidental that for the past few weeks, whenever I have conversations with people and then they talk about you're doing well for a colored person or you're successful for a colored person. So everyone you talk to, it's almost as if, we didn't expect this from your type. So I think most of the time we need to infiltrate the education system. And I've tried for like 3 years in Eldos, just to get into the schools, influence them, because I think that's where we need to start, in the schools. But you're almost always unsuccessful. So I just want to know, from your point of view, do you have any innovative ideas and how we can increase the influence, especially in the schools? Because the role models that most of the children have in schools in Eldos. You know, I won't say much about that, but when we see people like you and we see the influence that you have, do you have any other innovative ideas that we can use, you know, to come into the schools and say, listen, you don't have to be the drunk or on drugs or fall pregnant or all of those things that people expect from you? So, yeah, that's my question.
Okay, innovations, I think, honestly, I think spaces for, bro, what's all the, it's charcoal, I don't even know who's charcoal. Spaces for youth, I think, would be a great thing. I wish, like, I was really excited coming today because when I heard it's the Blue School War, like, I was really excited to see. So, joining movements like that and starting, what did they have at the school? There was something they had on a Friday with a purple thing that was written here on Live College, right? So Live College was kind of good, as I liked what they do. So it's just more fun educational programs, because I was acting on something, and the thing that hurt me even about my own type was that they're giving people acting lessons for free, Joshua. Maar toe kom like, they fed them and they're like, yeah, wanneer word ons betaal? And I'm like, who? How can you? I'm teaching you how to act from a professional standpoint. Maar je zoekt nog betalen. I feed you, I'm giving. But then, so it's breaking all of these mindsets, because when people, when they see us also, Joshua, there's times, you tell them, the rent just dries up a little bit. So, so they always, when they see us, they think, that network there, there is money there. But sometimes there's rainy days. So coming up with the fun educational programs, I think sport programs as well. Like, we did a netball thing yesterday, which was amazing. So doing stuff like that, and just starting off with the speaking in the classes, getting these kids into groups to understand life, to see a different aspect, getting them to watch more film tape about how people has broken the sin. Because even when I didn't want to do an interview when it was last year or something on SABC1, because and they always complain, like, I'm like, guys, but we can't keep, because people look at us like, they just, this one is just gonna, even when they striking, these ones are just, I love Fatnet one, like, they're not gonna do any, they are just like this. So becoming the successful person that you are, that you said, that's number one. Starting in the house, building them up, getting them in the youth programs in churches and everywhere, and then coming and trying to get educational things from, Space Daryl and them is here, so like, these guys can definitely, I like what they, that's why. So that's one step you can definitely look. And I think sport as well. Sport will always change the world. That's why I'm so big on sport as well. Good, okay.
Hi, Jerome. For most of the youngsters that's here, where was your turning point, and why, when the NBA paid your schooling or university fees, why did you decide to go into the, call it, media stream instead of going corporate accounting, lawyer, or doctor format? Why didn't you choose that?
So yes, the turning point was with the NBA, and a lot of the kids who are here vandaag, you're gonna get a lot. There were so much things I was supposed to speak about that, which but I went through, man. So my principal at school didn't like me because of the way I spoke and because where I was from. So he was pressing, and it was my final year. I cried. Even my people, my family, I said, guys, if I fail, this is the reason why I'm failing. So you're always going to get the teachers and what. So it was one, to prove a point. I'm coming for this, and whatever I'm coming into is what I like. And I love the media. Like, she wanted to know how we can change that. I just wanted to change people's perceptions on colored people, how we are viewed, and that we are just as talented as anybody in this world. So doing what I love and expressing myself, it's tough. There's times when eat net noodles, just again, it's just noodles, but I made that choice. But there's times I want to go into, I still study. I believe in studying as well. My mother used to fight. My mother was like, you're so smart, why don't you do it? I'm like, Mom, it's my dream. And I appreciate it. So support your child's dream and see where it goes. But that's why I'm trying to get into more things. But the turning point, I think, was my principal today, who loves me now and speaks very highly. Anyway, I think that was my turning point, and just seeing a lot of the kids doing drugs from my community. So yeah, that's why I wanted and just change the perception.
Morning, guys. Jerome. Just one question. Like, as someone that is of influence in our community now, someone that could be considered that has made it out of this community and is busy making a success out of his life. And my question to you is, I consider myself very successful as well. I am in this community. I believe that I'm investing a lot into my community as well. However, it is ever challenging why you get to stand out and you become a target. You understand? What would your encouragement be to someone like me that chooses to stay in Eldos? Why do I choose to stay in Eldos is to bring about tangibility. You understand? A lot of our youngsters, when they look at you, when they look at what you have, when they look at what you've done, they start believing that it's also possible for them. So I'm conflicted in the sense that I can maybe afford to stay in Sandton, but I choose to stay in Eldos. The reason for that is to show that it's possible, that you can make a difference being in Eldos, staying in Eldos, and not necessarily leaving. And then with leaving, how I personally feel that whenever someone has left Eldos, the realities of what is in Eldos is no longer in your face. You understand? So it's easier to not even think about it. You understand? And just move on, carry on with what you are doing. Nothing wrong with that. But I haven't found that there's enough people like yourself now that has come back, you understand, and make a difference in the community. Why? Like I said, that reality becomes you a bit more. The circles Josh moves in, like Sipo Dlamini is a personal friend of mine. Leanne is a friend of mine. There are so many great people from Eldos that on the sidelines, they're doing so much for the community. But because it's not visible, people, our youngsters, do not see the tangibility. They do not believe that it is possible. So to encourage me to stay in Eldos, to make Eldos great again, by being present in Eldos, whether it's me physically being here or me being on the world stage, but being mindful of the challenges that we have here. Drugs is a problem, but I don't believe drugs is the problem. You understand? The social circumstances of what we are facing in the community makes drugs the easy way out. You understand? But if we can come up with more people like you of influence to say that we are making Eldos great again. Wherever we are in this world, we promote the good side of Eldos. How would you encourage me to stay here and make that tangible difference? I thank you, sir.
No, bro. Josh, you're fine. Mustine, you're gonna, sorry, man. No, it's fine. Amash, hey, you know, sometimes the men they get a bit bros with sorry, man. I'm not taking your time. Bro, thank you, first of all, for staying in Eldos. I spoke to Neo. Neo even asked me, and one of the boys yesterday, Slim, why did you go? Because I'm here. I'm sure like everybody I love Eldos. I love Kliptown. It's home. But the thing, what made me, I was going to get, the jealousy was just on some areas were getting too much. And even for Joshua, I think he knows. That's why Joshua's out. He'll do for the, but I move altyd uit en kom hy met hom tye terug, or he's in the boom room. And that's his safe place. So, because some people just have that, ons gaan die ene seer maak because hy dink hy's so. But I appreciate you for staying. I was adopted by Shireen's Caridin, and Shireen and Mr. Sedan. They were my parents. And they wanted to leave Eldos at a point. And I was like, yo, but your legacy's here. Like, what are you doing? Like, they're like, no, we want something. I'm like, no, but it's here. So first of all, I think using people like us, like yourself, when you have innovations, I always talk to Joshua and them about it, getting people to respond, because some people are slick. Sometimes people think we want to eat the money. It's not like that. To come back and do stuff with us. So when they see us, it's a beautiful thing. So whether you come up with bringing in business, I'm sure you're a professional, successful businessman, and God bless you on and on and on, sir, so that you keep flying back. And I'm sure you help a lot of the people that come and ask for sponsor or so. Keep on doing that. The people will eventually see you. It's gonna come up. I don't have no idea. I will personally, even I'll speak to Tia and Joshua, but I will come up with an idea for you. I will put it down. We'll do something in Eldos, and that's how we first make Eldos great again. That's cool? I'll give you my number, sure.
Thanks, Slim. I just want to say that the lady who asked the question, Leanne, spoke at our last turning point. It's Dr. Leanne, doctor in environmental science. And then one question from someone special. This lady spoke at our first turning point.
Oh, no.
One of our pioneers.
I think it is.
It's that lady. You know she is. Yeah. It's a lady here in the corner. I understand you have a question, Taryn, for Slim. I heard you got a question. So this is Taryn's for him. This is Taryn Alberts, also a professional dancer. She spoke at our first turning point. So honored. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone. Awesome. There's a question that I like to ask people, especially what's the word? Entrepreneurs. Sacrifices. The Bible says obedience is better than sacrifices. So what is your take on that? Because sometimes as an artist or a business person, you tend to make so many sacrifices and you forget why you're doing what you're doing. You forget that I love dancing because I love dancing. I'm not dancing for a paycheck. So obedience is better than sacrifice, or do we just continue making sacrifices?
On the spot now. As you see now, that's the last one. Thank you to my sister Taryn. Just a quick hint and inspiration for you guys. Hey, even with Joshua, we go back, but Ek and Taryn Khan way back. She used to come to Eldos FM and said, we ate 3 rand bani chows, moms, at Caltex. Happiest time ever as artists. And how God, with me and Taryn, God has always blessed us to be together like that. So we were influencers for Nike. I was an influencer for Nike, South Africa, and we've just always moved together and done stuff in the thing. And you've had to make a lot of sacrifices as well. And it's very, so the sacrifice for the love or it's a very difficult question, because we used to get fought with our parents, because there's times you'll MC things and you're supposed to be getting, and you don't get money, but you're like, Mom, I love it. And what the young people, I think, need to be alert of is when people offer you the exposure. They like that word, exposure. You're gonna be seen, like how you've seen somebody's, and then tomorrow somebody picks you up and you expose, and then you get more exposed, and then somebody else just comes in, sir, and gets paychecks. And a swag, he doesn't do nothing. It's visionless. You know that. Can't even dance, can't do nothing, and that's what it is. So, like again, when I went back, see, knowing your worth now, we're smart, we can make that change. Like our businessman was saying, we need to come in there and show these kids that, you know what, we here. And I think going with what you're saying, I think saving, I'm big on saving. I love saving. Saving is the thing to any young person, doctrine, whoever. Sit weg. Always put away money for future things. And your love and your sacrifice, see, it's knowing your worth will lessen the sacrifice now. Because once it's now, I mean, Taryn is seen on stages now, globally. Phenomenal dancer, as you know that. Kids see you now. It's starting to pay off. So sometimes your success is not my success. My story is not your story. You can be more successful than me today. Tomorrow you can go hit 2 million. I will get that after 5 years. But the only thing which I'm going to close off now by is, somebody once told me, Slim, there's 2 roads to success, quick and the short one. But the ultimate lesson is we always going to come out to the same place. See? We're always going to come out to the same place. Thank you so much for having me, Eldos. I hope you're inspired. God bless. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Slim. I've been trying to get Slim here for over a year, because then people like Slim have PAs, managing agencies. Then you have to email them. You don't just phone him. Then if you phone them or get their number, they're like, no, speak to my agent. So that guy over there, you need to speak to his agent.